please tell something about yourself and your company env0.
Okay, so I am Ohad Maislish. I'm 39 years old, father of two, and my background is technical. This is my second startup and all-in-all third company, and I started my career at a young age. At the age of 14, basically, I started going to university in parallel to high school. I was on the 9th grade, so I joined the university, and basically I had a bachelor degree in the university when I graduated from high school. So I did both in the same time. Then I went to work at Microsoft at the age of 17. And I was actually the youngest ever developer at Microsoft Israel. I'm based in Tel Aviv, by the way. And that was in 99, like 22 years ago. And as far as I know, I still hold that that record of the youngest ever developer at Microsoft Israel, at least. And since then, I worked on technical roles, becoming R&D manager. And in the last 6 years, I started 3 companies, and env0 is my third company. So I'm not such a good developer now. There are many others that do much better job than me on that, and I focus on building companies and innovating. So that's a little bit about myself. env0 is all about infrastructure as code. We're strong believers that the cloud is going through a major revolution. We call it the third revolution. I think the first revolution was the move from physical machines to virtual machines, led by VMware 20 years ago, more or less. So that was the virtualization revolution. The second is obviously the public cloud revolution, that you no longer have your room with the servers, but instead you pay to some vendor like AWS, GCP, Azure, and you pay per your usage, but you operate at that manually by clicking buttons in the UI of those cloud vendors. But now DevOps teams no longer click buttons, but instead they write, maintain, and something needs to execute code. So everything is moving to code. The biggest framework is Terraform, but there are others worth mentioning. So again, that's a huge revolution. It makes developers influence infrastructure decisions, control the bare metal. It's no longer bare metal, but what they write in code totally affects the infrastructure of their applications. So that's the third revolution. And the env0 is all about infrastructure as code automation. That's basically the background.
That's amazing. And your background is quite commendable as well. Like you're kind of a prodigy in computer science.
Again, now in env0, there are developers that do a much better job than me. And that's a good thing. They need to focus on building the product.
Yeah. And we have Miss Moore also. She has joined.
Perfect.
Let's wait for her.
Hi, Yifat.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. Would you mind switching on your video? We can't see you. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. My internet connection is not that great. I might need to switch off from video. Okay, so let's hold on with the video and see how it goes.
Yeah, so please introduce yourself.
Sure. Ohad, go ahead.
I already did. Now,
oh, sorry. I missed the first few minutes because I was wrapping up the previous call that we were both on. My name is Yifat Mor. I'm the VP Marketing of env0, and nice to meet you. Sorry for being late.
Oh, that's all right. So I wanted to ask you about your company name, like env0 or it's env0. It's pretty unique. So what's the idea behind it?
No, it's 0. It's not the letter O, it's the digit 0. And it's a combination of two things. Env, meaning environment, or specifically cloud environments. And 0, we just actually took that idea from another great company named OS0 that got acquired by Okta a few months ago. So we believe that everything that has to do with cloud environments, again, in the new era of infrastructure as code, people should look at env0.
That's great. And congratulations to you for raising your Series A funding. So how do you feel about this milestone?
I think it's a combination of a few great things. So first, the acknowledgement by investors that there is a huge market and that our traction starts showing that we're doing exactly the right thing. So that's to understand that you're in the right direction. The second thing is that we now going to play to work even closer with Microsoft. Okay, the fact that the lead investor is Microsoft, I think is another great asset for us. We have been working with Microsoft for a year now, and they joined the last round, the seed extension round, and now they decided to lead the new round. So we already saw the great potential that we can do working closely with Microsoft, and I think the fact that they are going to work with us even closer can generate a lot of great opportunities for us within Microsoft and its ecosystem. And the third is obviously we now got $17 million. So we can do a lot of things with that funding. We can do things we knew we need to do, but we just waited for the right time to do that. And now with that new money, we can basically do everything we think we need to do.
That's great. So how do you plan to use this funding?
We are not alone in that space. I think it's super important to mention HashiCorp Terraform Cloud as our main competition. And we want to dominate that category. Okay, so we feel that there is a new category that is being emerged of infrastructure as code automation. And I think the two most noticeable players out there is HashiCorp Terraform Cloud and soon also env0. I think env0 has proven for now that we have what seems to be the best product. We must continue keep that great product, and there are a lot of great more features that we plan to build in order to stay the best product in that category. But maybe even more important, we need to build our brand awareness. So we need to tell the world, okay, that env0 is here, and that's maybe the most important thing in our funding, to the go-to-market, the lead generation, the brand awareness, the brand credibility. Those kind of things are important because we strongly believe that we have the best product, and we now need to show that to basically every relevant person.
That's great. And on that note, Ms. Mor, I'd like to ask you, if you don't mind sharing about your marketing strategy, and is there something that your marketing team does that others don't, like something out of the box?
I don't think we're trying to reinvent the wheel here. Okay, we basically, yes, Yifat, would you like to take that?
I would be delighted.
Sure.
From a marketing perspective, so I think that building a strong momentum with the DevOps community is something that we're definitely going to put more emphasis on. As thought leaders, we establish our go-to-market by, with a combination of both educating on the importance of transitioning from manual processes to code-based actions, or I don't know if the word actions really describes what code is, but automating infrastructure as code, leveraging code instead of manually pushing buttons. This is definitely a major piece with the education process that we do. And we plan to even do more around that. And so the communication or the connection with the DevOps and SREs and tech leads communities is super strategic for env0, and we plan to invest more in that. We can leverage events and meetups and physical events when they go back, and we can meet face to face, but definitely leveraging the digital space and all these communities to present ourselves as thought leaders. On top of that, there are, as Ohad said, the traditional marketing efforts, that every startup or every brand is doing. But I think that what makes env0 unique is the combination of great technology and the fact that developers and DevOps really love the platform. They enjoy working with env0. The feedback is really positive. So we definitely need to leverage the good feedback that we get and amplify these customer success stories, and generally speaking, to reach a bigger audience. But that's pretty much the plan. The plan is through the community first, and then all the other traditional marketing activities.
That's great. And like most of the developers use GitHub, right? So what value-added services do you guys provide so that they consider moving to env0?
Okay. Yifat, I'm taking that question.
I just wanted to say one more thing, that speaking about the DevOps community and GitOps, we do have an open source project called that we released to the community. So Ohad, take it from there.
Okay, so regarding developers and GitHub, so the vast majority of our customers use GitHub and env0. So it's not something that in any chance can replace GitHub. But also our customers use three things. Okay, they use a source control management product like GitHub, GitLab, or Bitbucket, or Azure DevOps. They use a cloud vendor like AWS, GCP, and Azure, and they use an infrastructure as code framework like Terraform. Okay, so we connect those three entities together. Okay, so if you have, and you always have, source control management product like GitHub for a company, and you probably use the cloud like AWS, and nowadays you probably started using Terraform. If you want to manage all of those in one centralized place to get governance, management capabilities, automation, workflows, notifications, that's what env0 does.
Great. So what is your target market? Like, is env0 for corporate developers or for individual developers as well?
It's not for individual developers. Okay, it's for it's automation and collaboration. Okay, so when you have just one developer using infrastructure as code framework like Terraform, they can just use the open source Terraform. Okay, so the individual contributor, they do not need a solution like env0 or HashiCorp Terraform Cloud. The HashiCorp Terraform Cloud and env0 are built for the business solution for the organizations. Okay, so that's our only focus.
Okay, and you founded env0 in 2018, right? So what has the growth trajectory been like since the inception of env0 till the Series A funding?
Actually, it was like on December 31st or something like that, 2018. And we basically started in early 2019. And I think the first year we really focused on ideation and building the MVP. And then we raised our seed round. And then we got our first customers and raised now our Series A. And so for us, it was super interesting to see how everybody is moving to infrastructure as code, like Terraform. By the way, specifically zooming in on that, we saw a lot of movement from other infrastructure as code frameworks to Terraform. Okay, so I've mentioned in the beginning that there are other infrastructure as code frameworks like CloudFormation and ARM templates. So people move from CloudFormation and ARM templates to Terraform. And we're also starting to see another framework named Pulumi. And env0 is a multi-framework infrastructure as code automation solution. We're not just for Terraform. Okay, we are a multi-framework. And the fact that we see those transitions, Terraform is currently the big leader, but there are others. And again, worth mentioning Terragrunt, worth mentioning Pulumi. And that's one of the things we've noticed. So there's a big move to infrastructure as code. And in infrastructure as code, there is a move to the multi-cloud open source frameworks that are Terraform, Terragrunt, and Pulumi. Those are rising frameworks.
So where do you place yourself like amidst the competitive landscape that you have?
Again, the main competition is HashiCorp Terraform Cloud, which focuses only on the automation layer on top of Terraform only. Okay. Our customers, again, they use Terraform, they use Terragrunt, they use other infrastructure as code frameworks, but they use the open source. We've built the management solution on top of that. Like the difference between Git and GitHub. Okay, so GitHub is built for users that use Git. Okay, and so we're doing the same here. If you have Terraform code, and you're not just an individual contributor, you work in a company, you want to collaborate, you want your colleague to approve your changes, you want to have some guardrails before you deploy to the cloud and check your code if it suits some policies. That's when you need env0. So the competition is still very early, and again, the main thing that we notice is again HashiCorp Terraform Cloud, and that's where we are. But they're just single framework. They just Terraform. We are multi-framework.
Right. So coming back to your funding round, so I wanted to ask, what was the most difficult question, or questions that you had to confront from investors during your funding rounds, be it the seed funding round or the Series A?
I think investors clearly saw that there is a huge market and that we have a strong product and a strong team, and that we basically fulfill anything that we say that we're going to do. However, again, we're not alone here, and with us there is a very big company named HashiCorp, and I think that's what investors, they understand that something big is going to happen here. Okay, but they basically ask how you're gonna succeed, how you're gonna win in a domain that there is already one great company operating in that space. And I'm happy to say that when we show proofs of customers choosing env0 time over time, again and again, I think that's the best answer to show how you're gonna be a dominant player in that category, because you're building the best product, and eventually developers want to use products that they like, that empower them, okay, and give them a lot of capabilities. So those are our answers to how we're going to succeed, just by building the best product.
So as you said, you founded 2 startups before env0. So I don't know if you're going to answer this, but still, do you see yourself sticking around and making env0 grow, or would you consider a lucrative exit in future?
I think we just started, and there's plenty more we want to achieve. So that's our focus, to grow.
That's great. Ms. Moore, would you like to add something before we end this interview?
Again, this is very exciting for us. There are great expectations that come with such a nice Series A round. I think you've asked all the important questions. We look forward to a very successful future And I think that we have, we have a great product, but it's most importantly, I think we have a great team. So we have a super awesome team of developers, marketeers, sales, operations, and we will surely grow and hopefully can take this great momentum forward and launch new features and make this product even bigger than what it is today.
That's amazing. And again, congratulations for your Series A round and all the best for upcoming endeavors.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Have a great day.
Nice. It was really nice.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you too.
Nice meeting you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.